We're on the road.
Yep. Asbury Park Boardwalk bound.
Yep. Want to turn down?
Sure.
Then we'll come up on the other side.
Tell me about those copper things again.
There were 28 copper medallions, about 3 or 4 feet high and about 10 feet wide. They went all the way around the building. They took them down to do maintenance work on the building, stored them in a warehouse with cameras and all for video 24/7. And they mysteriously disappeared, and the copper was worth $50,000, so they figured somebody took it and had it melted down.
So what do they do at Christmas?
At Christmas they have around 25 Christmas trees with all lighted up, and they have parties and cocktail hours and stuff like that out here. It's really beautiful. When I ride my bike just before dark and everything, people are starting to come, and it's just a beautiful atmosphere. That's not Bon Jovi, but May 17th and 18th, a couple of weeks they're going to have John Bon Jovi and 120 to 125 other bands on the north side of Convention Hall. They expect 100,000 to 120,000 people to be in town to listen to the music. It's called Bamboozle. There it is there on the side, 18th to the 20th, Bamboozle. My senior year of college, 1962, there was a major hurricane, and my father, our dad, was the assistant city manager, and he was charged of the whole beachfront. And the state police called, and I came down with them, and we went out to the other side of Convention Hall on the second and third floor, and the waves were breaking across the first floor of Convention Hall. That's this part of the building, out in the back, right over the ocean. So my father said, let the water come in and go over the stage, across the floor, and open all the doors out here in the arcade. All these doors here, Dan had them opened up because he said this building was designed so the water would flow. They anticipated, back in 1928 when this building was built, they anticipated major water problems. So the water came through those doors, and it would flow out these doors over here on the north side and flow out those doors on the south side. It kept the building from collapsing from the weight of the water, because all the water just went right back in the ocean. Just recycled itself.
What year was that?
That was 1962.
Last time I think I was here was the Cassius Clay fight. Was it with Frazier?
That was a long time ago.
Many years ago.
He practices here now. This is a picture of Bruce Springsteen and his band. They come down here all year round, mostly in the wintertime, and they practice right here in Convention Hall on the stage. And people find out about it. The word spreads, and hundreds of cars will be here within a half an hour, 45 minutes, because they know they can listen to the music for free. So yeah, because he lives in Rumson. And he was born in Freehold, and he got his start here at the Stone Pony. So he's never forgotten Asbury Park. The city's definitely coming back from when the riots occurred in 1970, because I've been riding my bike 3 days a week all year round, and in the winter, January, February, March, I come down like 3:30 in the afternoon, and there's people, as long as it's a decent day, there's 20 or 30 people walking on the boardwalk right around now, April and May, you'll have 100 to 150 people walking on a boardwalk, even on a weekday. So the city's coming back, slowly but surely. You can ride your bikes on the boardwalk in Asbury Park 24/7, 365 days a year, between 12 midnight and 12 noon. You know, the enforcement is not real strict. If you're on the boardwalk and there's a lot of people, they'll have like rent-a-cops, which, you know, guys that they hire and they have uniforms on and all. But he says they just chase you off the boardwalk. They don't write tickets or anything. They just say, you know, please exit on the next, you know, the next street there. That was it. This is a water park with, you know, the pail over there dumps water on you, and this thing turns upside down, and the water sprinkles out in the hose. They get, you know, kids really enjoy that. These in Asbury Park are the best buy on the whole Jersey Shore. There's 130 miles of beaches between Sandy Hook and Cape May, and I'm a senior citizen, so anybody over 60 years old, you get a beach badge for the whole year. They just raised the price. It was, up until last year, it was $15 for the whole season, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Now they went to $20, but that's still a very good buy. Building here where the Stella Marina restaurant now is, a very, very, very good Italian restaurant. For like 50, 60 years it was the Criterion candy shop, and very famous, excellent quality candies. And I just met the owner of that shop in Allenhurst at the post office, and he's in his 80s now. And he said he and his son are going to open a Criterion restaurant again on the Asbury Boardwalk. I'm not as sure exactly what store it is or anything, but they're supposed to be open for this summer. They're going to open the restaurant. And then I'm going to take a picture where Mom, and that's Glazer's, where those men are working inside there. They used to be Glazer's gift shop, a very famous gift shop with high-end gifts and jewelry, diamonds, and all like that. It was almost like a jewelry store. And our mom worked there. She worked there for many years.
And I worked there too.
You worked there also?
Yeah, I was a card girl outside.
That's right. Yeah, I remember. The casino that you're looking at now and the convention hall, its sister building down the other end of the boardwalk, were both built in 1929 during the Depression. The President of the United States knew that there were jobs needed. We had these magnificent buildings constructed, and the convention hall's in a lot better shape because they have the Paramount Theater in there, and that's been used by some very famous musicians. Bruce Springsteen's been in there, and Tony Bennett in the last few years, and many others. But the casino, as you can see, is still in disrepair, and the part that's behind the fences out there, that used to be an ice skating rink owned by the Redeker brothers. And we all have fond memories of the casino, and of course the arcade out front where they had the merry-go-round. So the powder beachfront's laid out. This wall here, all the way down the entire length, and the other side had beautiful old photographs. The total size of the wooded area here, that people would come and take beautiful pictures because it was all old original photographs blown up.
On both sides?
On both sides, yeah. On both sides, all the way down. There must have been maybe 30 or 40 of them, 20 on each side. Gorgeous. But I think they got vandalized. Now we're in Ocean Grove, and This is how they make sand dunes up here in New Jersey. They ask people to take their old Christmas trees and recycle them by bringing them down here to the beach. And as you can see right here behind this fence, right in front of me, there's a bunch of Christmas trees. And what will happen is the storms and everything off the ocean will blow the sand up, and of course the trees will trap the sand. And on both sides of this sand dune right here, you can see real sand dunes have developed. All on their own. Man doesn't have to do machinery or anything like that. Nature builds all those sand dunes. Now the reason these three sand dunes are right here and they're allowed to be that far out on the beach is that anytime there's a major northeast storm or a hurricane, this lake that you can see right here is only about 150 to 200 feet from the ocean. And so this is a very vulnerable area where the water comes right across from the ocean and it gets right into this lake. And there's a couple of bridges down this lake a little ways, and the power of the water will just rip the bridges right up because it floods the area here. So they're trying to prevent that by having these sand dunes break the force of the water so not too much of it gets into the lake. But this has been happening around here for the last 50 or 60 years. They don't want to ruin it by putting artificial barriers up, concrete or whatever, because it takes away from the beauty of the shore. Bradley Beach fixed itself up nice, I'll tell you. There's some beautiful content.
This is Bradley now?
Now we're at Bradley.
With the pavers here?
Yes. The Bradley Beach started right where Fletcher Lake, the middle of the lake.
Oh, okay.
Standing is where Bradley Beach started. But a lot of people bring their dogs down and let them run in here because it's kind of like, confined.
Lots and lots of copper.
Yeah. There used to be pedal boats and a great big swan that used to traverse the lake here. That was one big swan that held maybe 20 people. So to bring it back in 50 or 60 years later, they've got these little tiny swans they got approval to put on the lake. But how successful they are, I don't know. I guess these are paddle boats too, Jan. They are paddle boats. Yeah.
Here's Nina the black swan.
Yeah, Nina. There's Sunshine. This is the site of the famous Palace Amusements, which had a beautiful Ferris wheel and bumper cars and a fun house and a carousel. So we had two carousels, one in a casino and a couple 100 yards away in the Palace Amusements. Tilly is, there used to be a bunch of faces on the front when neon signs first came out with the old neon long tubes and all, and they had this face, and all of us that grew up in Asbury Park never knew anything had a name. But then when the town started to change and people started coming back in the 1980s and 1990s, these people from New York City came down, and for some reason they had to have their own stories about Asbury Park, and they said that the one face on there was Tilly, and that was all incorporated into Bruce Springsteen's songs. And they took Tilly down and they stored it in some place down by the sewer plant, and there was all kinds of lawsuits and everything because they said that it wasn't being properly cared for and it was deteriorating, and people were all upset, and we used to laugh because to us it was just nothing. It was just a face with about 20 or 30 other faces that were on there, but for some reason people from out of the city, because all of us that grew up here never knew there was any such thing.
So what happened to it in storage?
I believe it's still down by the sewage plant there in a crate sitting outside or something, and I guess they're getting tired of trying to fight to bring it back.